What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. Yesterday I recorded a whole 30-minute video about Sony, of course. You have to talk about them. And it got destroyed. Technical difficulties and such. So, I will do a shortened version of said video right now. On the week anniversary of Concord being released and failing stupendously. Stupendous failure. No other failure has been greater. The company that is Sony, owner of PlayStation brand, decides to raise the prices in Japan. I say prices, plural. Console by like $90, PSVR by like $90, and their controllers by $10 to $15. I don't know, translating, conjugating the currencies. And then actually after I recorded yesterday's video, I read up that somebody said, I don't know if it's true, but somebody said they're raising prices in order to compensate for the $200 million loss that Concord caused. So I'm like, is this the Sony that you remember? Is this the PlayStation that you remember? This dominant PlayStation? Or is this Sony being in a position of power, if you will, perceived position of power, and them saying, we can charge more because we're the most popular, so we can do whatever we want. I said before, Sony thinks that they're Apple. They think that they're making a premium product that people will pay a bunch of money for. I don't think they realize that a lot of casuals, are what made PlayStation 5 sell as much as it did. And it didn't even sell as much as it should have, because half of their customer base is still on PlayStation 4. Now, if all of them went over and it's 100 million already, then that's a different story. And it's like, they got them on lock, but they don't. They don't even have the games right now. And I listened to this one dude, little tangent, talking about Concord, and he was talking about the art design, the character design, all these things, and he made some real salient points about how, well, the silhouette obviously needs to be recognizable, and in Concord they just aren't. And one thing he said was, they just look like people wearing clothes. I said, you know what? That's exactly what's wrong with the art direction in Concord. I mean, the faces are the face. He said Lennox, the yellow dude, the whatchamacallit, ripoff. He said it's just a dude with spikes on his face and his arms and stuff. It's not like anything. Anyway, we're not talking about Concord because it's failed. So, oh my God. I mean, we are talking about Concord, but look. Real quick, Concord failed so hard that it is unprecedented. It is the greatest failure in video games. I'm not talking about just Sony. No. Across the board, the history of video games, no other game has come out like Concord and failed so hard, so quickly. And you can just look at the number. You can look at all the bad games that came out this year. Concord is at the bottom of the pile. They are the worst. As far as Steam numbers, nope. Anyway. Yeah, so PlayStation, they decide they're gonna up the prices. And like I said before, look at the behavior of Sony this whole generation, and tell me that they're concerned or their best interest is in their customers, that they care about their customers. They don't care about y'all one single bit. They care so little about y'all that they're like, yeah, we're gonna raise the price without blinking an eye. Because we made a piece of crap nobody wants. Without blinking an eye, let's make something nobody wants. And then we're going to charge them more. Now, I said this. I said, look, if they're raising prices of the regular PlayStation 5, how much do you think the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to cost? if it comes out at all. Everybody's saying it is. So let's assume it is going to come out. I'ma say, conservatively speaking, $650 is the lowest price of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Realistically, $679. If Sony wants to really smack y'all across the face, like plow, right on the forehead, $699. That's what's up. Because the PlayStation 5 in Japan is like $550 now or something like that. Or is it more? Or is it $530? It's over $500. And in America, it's over $500. It's $550, I think, in North America. So, yeah, no, y'all are... and it's not going to sell because all the casuals already got PlayStation 5s. And the people who bought PlayStation 5s, casuals, don't buy pro consoles. Last gen's pro consoles did not sell a lot. They sold a percentage of the total, maybe 10, 15, 20 at most. And I'm talking about Xbox One X's, and I'm talking about PlayStation 5 Pros. PlayStation 4 Pro, excuse me. They didn't sell. They didn't sell what you think they sold. It's just barely a little bit extra. That's all it is. So pull up, especially with the price that it's going to be, it's not going to sell. And the people who are going to play Grand Theft Auto and all that stuff, mainly, it blowed up on PC. It's really about Grand Theft Auto Online, not so much Grand Theft Auto. But Grand Theft Auto, yeah, sure, it's gonna sell. Let's be real. But people who already have a PlayStation 5 are not going to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro just for Grand Theft Auto, especially casuals. Only people that are going to buy PlayStation 5 Pros are the fanboys, the ponies, the donkey unicorns and such. That's it. That's all they're going to do. Nobody else. So, look, man, I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I understand that they're out of their minds and this whole generation is crazy as far as prices and stuff. And here's another thing. Here's why I think Microsoft is a lot of people don't like, well, fanboys usually, they don't give Microsoft credit. They put out a console for $599, and that's the 2 terabyte Xbox Series X with disk drive and stuff, right? And it's justified because of the 2 terabytes. It's because $499 if you buy a terabyte SSD, proprietary SSD that they have, it's about $100. I don't know, 79. I forgot what it was, but it's comparable. Like if you buy it separate and then add it, then it's comparable. It's about the same. And so I'm like, okay, it makes sense, but to the consumer, it's just a console that costs $600. Now, they're not losing money per se on that, and they know that that's not a good price, and they know that they're not going to sell a whole bunch of those. Some people will buy it, like I said, the super Xbots, the fans, the people who got a lot of money, the whales and stuff. They'll buy the expensive console because they want the best. They want the most premier experience, right? So what Microsoft has done effectively is they created a SKU of this generation consoles that is $599, right? Now Sony's looking at that and saying, if that old piece of junk is $599, we could charge $699 for our Pro because our Pro is way better. You see what you see what happened? You see what Microsoft did? They said, we're not really going to make money. I mean, we'll make a couple of dollars maybe. They're probably selling it like, they're probably not taking a loss on that either. And I'm like, look, I told y'all before, Microsoft is playing some 4D chess, 69D chess, whatever number D chess, 69.7D chess. And it's working because PlayStation is stambling. They're over here trying to make gas games because they don't know what to do. It's like Microsoft is pushing all the buttons and Sony's like, oh my gosh, they're reacting. Sony's reacting to everything that Microsoft is doing. And some of the stuff they don't react to, which they should have done something, they should have done a cloud infrastructure type of thing. I mean, Sony's been in business way longer than Microsoft. They should have more money. But I guess their business model wasn't to grow the company. It was just to, I don't know. I don't know what their mission statement is over at Sony, because obviously it's just to make subpar movies, and now not really good games and fail at multiplayer games for decades. I mean, look at the history. I'm not just talking shit. I'm not hyperbolizing. Look at the history of PlayStation's gas games, if you want to call them. The first they were multiplayer games, online multiplayer games. Now they're gas. But they've never been able, never, ever, ever been able to. And when they did have some little bit of success, they either abandoned it or they messed it up. Helldivers 2 is the recent example of them messing it up and not nurturing it, organically growing it, organically. I'm just saying, look, it is amazing to me that a company so large is so blind and inept at doing what they need to do to remain relevant and to remain strong within their competitive space. And to do that, you have to grow your company, to be a bigger company, to have money, to go up against these big boy companies that are your competition. Microsoft didn't sit back and say, oh, we're going to do what Sony does. We're going to copy exactly what they do, because no. I mean, when they first got in the console space, they didn't know what they were doing. They slapped together the Xbox, OG Xbox, like, hey, computer parts, let's go, blap, blap, blap. A big giant hard drive like this big, 8 gigabytes. I'm like, you can put it, it's like this big now. It's ridiculous, And then they learned red ring of death. Oh yeah, we kind of messed up. The solder sucks, They learned, they got their hardware where it needs to be. Now Xbox hardware is top notch. Not that many failures. Whisper quiet. And Sony's falling behind. You see how big and ugly the PlayStation 5 is, right? How come they couldn't come up with an innovative design like Xbox did, right? I don't know. Comparable power, smaller box. How does that work? And then I'm looking at the PlayStation 5 regular. I mean, sure, it's smaller, but still in the big shell. But how big do you think the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be if the PlayStation 5 is a ginormous, giant box refrigerator? Not even. How big do you think that's going to be? It's going to be huge, and it's going to cost like... That's gonna fail just like Concord. Okay, it won't fail that bad. let's be real. I don't think anything can fail as bad as Concord did. But the PlayStation 5 Pro is not gonna sell what y'all think it's gonna sell, and I don't care if it pops, it gives you extra frames and all. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out, showing like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below what you think about Sony raising the prices. PlayStation 5. This is your Sony. This is your overlords. This is what you got. And if PlayStation 5 Pro, do you think that's gonna be cheap? Probably not. But anyway, I appreciate, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Till the wait.